Welcome to my latest tutorial video on how to use WebFOCUS, especially WebFOCUS Designer. So this is a request and a question raised from a friend of mine here over in Germany. So we're going to show you how to solve that little challenge. Actually, the idea was to build such a little application within WebFOCUS that allows me to dynamically select fields from here. So I've got my product category as my sort field in here. Let's add product subcategory as another sort field, submit what we have. Actually, I want to add a few more measures to my report to get a wider range of elements in my report. Actually, I want to add a second sort field as well. So let's go to the country name and add the country as a second sort field and submit it again. So this is a very flexible report, allowing me to build a wide variety of report variants actually. So how is it built? We got our sort fields, we've got the output format, we've got the measures, got some hidden filters in here that allow me to filter on product category as well as product subcategory in here. So let's filter those values. So got that one filtered. Let's reduce it actually to one product category. Filter once more. So actually very simple, quite useful little application to work with. So actually, how is it built? This is the main report that we have on our page. Actually, what it does, it goes to the WebFOCUS retail database. It contains a dynamic sum field using this little syntax in here. And it's using 3 different sort fields with this syntax. To populate the list of potential fields, I'm using a little database that populates all fields available within my retail database because I don't want to manually add all those fields for the selection. I'm going to take a look into how it's done a little later. It's got regular filters in here. It's got the output format, so nothing very specific in here. Let me quickly zoom in for a very short period of time. Don't worry, I'm going to put the facts, the code, the sample code into the description of the YouTube video. So you're going to get a link to download what is needed in here. So very straightforward little syntax and technique to build my report. I populated most of the fields with defaults in here. So you got those elements. How do you get a list of sort fields not typing it in? Actually quite straightforward. Get dimension light is another little procedure that is used to populate the list. The only thing I use is the internal table file syscolumn functionality in WebFOCUS. Syscolumn is nothing more than a virtual database that allows me to read content from a WebFOCUS metadata element. I'm using WF retail as my data source. So I'm sending WF retail as a filter to this column. I'm pulling some fields from that element, getting me the name of those fields. I'm doing some cosmetics in here to make it look nicer. So just building the technical field name as well as pulling the description in here. I'm removing certain elements. So there's a bunch of filters just to remove elements from that list. And I'm writing that data to a focus file. We can add a comment in here and take a quick look. So we're going to see what the outcome here is. So that's the list of fields from that data source. You see, there's a few fields that don't have a full field description. So we might want to remove those fields as well because they might be quite useless in here. So let's add one more filter. So where full field description and not empty. Run it. So we removed those empty fields as well. And what I do, because I don't want to frequently query those elements, I'm writing it to a focus database, a table somewhere to be used later on. So in here, where dimension ID not equal 000, filters on dimensions only, because all non-dimensional fields have 0, 0, 0, 0 as a dimension ID. So we do the same thing for measures. So actually, let's look at the output. Same technique, getting data from via syscolumn from WF retail, doing some more cosmetics here to the descriptions to make it better looking, run it, and there's all the measures I wanted. Actually, I want to use those computes as well. So not to lose computes or defines in that type of logic, I'm pulling those elements as well. As you see in here for the files, we've got the elements. So in here, I'm doing some manipulation to add the word compute in case the field is a compute. So I'm adding the word compute as well as the semicolon in here to get the syntax to display something like what we had in here. So not just pulling the field name, also adding the word compute in case it is a compute, and adding the semicolon to the field in here. So I'm going to be able to work with computes as well. And actually, that's all I need in here. Let's enable that part as well and write the file. I've got my records, 24 records, 24 potential measures. Save it back to the system, got my light, my measures, and there it is. And actually the only thing I'm doing in here is for the list of sort fields, I'm pulling data from that table that we just talked about. For the sort field, I'm pulling data from the retail dimensions table that I created in here. And for the sum field in here, I'm pulling data from retail measures, the table I created in here. Just a very simple way to speed up or automate the generation of potential fields in here. So changing my zoom level again. Okay, next step is use that report within a designer page. So I'll go to plus, assemble visualization, and we're pulling the InfoApp template from here. And now we're adding report here. And as you see, we get 7 elements. Let's add those 7 elements. And there are the measures and the fields and the filters, whatever we created in the master file. And now we can start to distribute it across the page. Actually, I want to sort 2 and sort 3 to be in here. Same for the output format, move it down here. I want to keep the filters in that hidden category, in that collapsible category in here. Of course, there's not much in there, so I'm going to reduce the size here slightly. I'm going to collapse it by default. Actually, we don't need the second row in here of the filter dialog, so let's remove those cells. We can move sort to the first element, measure to the second one, go to control, and in here, we're going to add our submit control, center it, and actually, that's all we needed to build our little report in here. So let's run it in a new window. And there we built our first InfoApp. So change it to HTML. Add one more as a second sort field. Add one more or 2 or 3 or whatever more measures in here. And submit it. And we've got our active report with 4 measures, 2 sort fields as a dimension, and HTML output format. That's a straightforward way to build your first InfoApp. And again, if you want to get the code, just look at the comment section of that video. I'm going to post a link to the FAQs there for your reference. Have fun. Bye-bye.